Hi, Neil.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Hi, you too. So today we are joined by Neil Mann, who is the founder of NOAN, the AI tool for entrepreneurs. And in December, Neil came and did a demo of NOAN for a small group of designers. And it was amazing. It was great to see what NOAN could do. And Neil asked a lot of questions from the group. And today, Neil's going to show us how NOAN has changed and how it's even better for designers. So if you are a designer, you're working on trying to create content or get content from your clients, this is going to be a game changer. Neil, thanks for being here.
No worries. Thanks for having me back. Hey, Wayne. I just saw Wayne, actually. I just saw Wayne signed up to NOAN.
Hey, Wayne.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, I wanted to start really because we got amazing feedback on the last webinar from a lot of the designers, and we've taken a lot of that on board. We've actually gone away and built a lot of features and developed those, which I want to talk through today and show what we're building. So it was great to get feedback. I think one of the things that we want to be is really collaborative with everybody. So again, like if there's things that you're looking for, just give us a shout and let us know. And I'm sure that they will, if they scale for you, they work for you, there's a high chance they work for other people. And so as a result, we'll get them in the queue. Just for anybody who is kind of new to NOAN and what we're building, I'm one of the co-founders of NOAN. We've got a team in Europe, team in the US. We're really trying to build an AI platform that makes life easy for entrepreneurs, because I think one of the things we've realized is everybody's overwhelmed. Any entrepreneur now, whether it's your clients, whether it's you building a web design business, you're doing everything. You're managing CRM, you're managing content, you're managing brand strategy, you're managing the build, pricing, all of that. We're trying to build a platform that enables you to have a partner by your side to automate as much of that as possible and make AI as useful as it can be. So do you want me to, I'll jump in and give a quick overview again.
Perfect.
So say hi in the chat. Let me know if you've seen some of this before, but there's a lot of new stuff coming. But for those who haven't, I want to just demo a couple of new things we've got, and we'll take you through that. So let me just jump in. Here we go. So for anyone who hasn't seen NOAN before, the way NOAN works is that we make business building with AI easy by, I'll come back to the dashboard in a second there, by breaking the knowledge of your business up into blocks. I think one of the key things we talked about last time was that if you're building your business with AI, a lot of people end up either doing two things. One, they're going back and forth with ChatGPT or Anthropic, talking to them all the time, trying to tell them about their business. Or two, they are using an LLM and pointing it at a mess of business documents they have got, which is largely what you'll see with big enterprises. As a result, you're constantly wasting time. We're saying with NOAN, actually, let's restructure and rethink how we think about building a business with an AI first approach. So the way it works is that you build out your business knowledge in what we call smart blocks. So these are smart blocks, basic bits of information. This is a farm I'm in now, actually. It works for any business. And I always like showing a farm example because it's one of those ones that's kind of a bit out there, but if it works for a farm with a subscription box, etc., it'll work for any business. Once you add smart blocks, you're locking in that piece of knowledge into the AI, and then it'll always know to reference it. So a good example here is this is the origin story of the business. So if you're working with any business, one of the things you might gather is like the origin story of the company when you're thinking about the design of the website or the mission or any of that. Once you've got that, you can lock it in here as the origin story, and then NOAN will start to connect the dots behind the scenes as you build the strategy out. So when you go through these blocks, you can generate them with AI. So this is a description for the target audience, this business built with AI. You can then edit it, tweak it, save it. But once you do, you lock it in, and then NOAN will connect those dots behind the scenes. So when you build out the audience interests, the priority audience, or for example, the audience segmentation, each of these is going to start to be connected behind the scenes. And what's great is throughout the product, you can jump in and work with an assistant. And you'll see here, I've previously asked a question. you can work with an assistant to at any point ask it any advice. And the thing about the assistants are they know everything about your business, everything about the world, and they also know the context of what you're working on right now. So you can see here, I've just asked it, what other segments could we target? And it's come back with other example target segments. And if we like them, we can drop them in, and that will lock them in as segments we're going to target throughout the product. Or we can always drop them in ideas, and they'll be over here in the ideas tab, collected, or in the block itself. So that's how you build out the smart blocks, and they're grouped into stacks: brand stack, product stack, content stack. So a good example here is, this is the newsletter format. We talked about this last time. This is locked in as the format for this brand. And then there's sector specific ones. So this is for a farm, and we've got all sorts of different stacks at the bottom. So as you build out this knowledge, somebody said it to me earlier, it's like a brain almost. It's the underlying business knowledge for the business. You can then jump into create mode. And here you can create anything you need at any point, and it will reference all of that business knowledge. So it's going to be accurate. So we'll do one that I like, and then we'll jump onto some of the new stuff we've got. But I think this is really easy. An example for any business, we'll say, write an email to our customers, outline the products we have available in our farm shop, include 3 recipes they can cook with them, and offer 10% off if they come in this week. So you can use different models, OpenAI or Anthropic. We really want to make it easy to be able to switch, and you might use them for different things. You don't need to write long prompts. You can just then choose an assistant. And in this example, we'll choose the content writer. And what's happening now is this is referencing 100% of my business knowledge. So as a result, what comes back is going to be accurate. So if you've got clients that need to create content, and this might be slow, by the way, I'm in the basement and I've got the doors shut just in case the kids come back. But this is going to be 100% accurate. If you've got clients that struggle with content creation, or if you want to create content for your clients, you can do it simply and easily in this environment with create mode. And you can see there, it's got the 10% off, the recipes, everything we asked for in seconds, and it's going to be accurate. And what we're trying to do is try and make it simple, easy to automate your business. You can talk to this assistant in this environment. You can ask it to do a variation. You can ask it to make it better for a particular audience segment, audience sector, make it shorter, do Facebook post. It understands the context of what it's created. And so that's how it works. You'll get an automatic headline, a tag, super simple, trying to make it as seamless and as easy as possible. Now, a couple of things I wanted to touch upon, which are new since we last spoke, are we now have tasks available, which I think wasn't there. So you can add tasks, and we'll come back to that in a minute. In the dashboard, this is where we're really consolidating everything. And a way to think about this is we're taking your business knowledge and connecting it to something else. So this is an AI-powered news widget for a small farm in Devon, which is about as niche as it gets. And the output's really good. But here is one of the things that's been a big hit since we launched it, which is we've added a Google Analytics integration. So in this environment, you can connect your Google Analytics straight into NOAN. And what happens then is, I'll show you here, is that every 24 hours, the AI will analyze your GA analytics and give you examples and things to work on, areas of strength, opportunity for improvement, and then give you an overview of your traffic, et cetera, and engagement. And we're soon going to be integrating the assistant into this environment, so you can actually talk directly to the assistant about your GA and get everything you need in one place. If you're working with clients, by the way, this is the one thing that we've heard from a lot of our small business owners that are using it. Like, for them, Google Analytics is a black box, and they have all of a sudden found it actually actionable. Now, I can't show you this because this isn't a real farm that I've got in here, but we also have exactly the same capability for Stripe. So you can connect your Stripe data and you'll get analysis based on your business every 24 hours from AI straight there into your dashboard. It will show you your latest sales, where they've gone up, where they've gone down, what the trends are, what to watch out for. And again, we're just trying to leverage your business knowledge and make it as easy for you to not have to run around, because we use NOAN to build NOAN. And for us, we're finding ourselves jumping from Stripe to NOAN. We're bringing it together, making it easy, giving us AI analysis in one single place. So those are the couple of the key things we've got. And you'll see here there's a widget client onboarding, which is one of the things I want to talk through. I'm going to jump down into a different brand and show you a couple of exciting things. You can run as many companies as you want on NOAN, which, just to talk through for a second, we've actually changed our pricing model over the last couple of weeks, which makes it, I think, really useful for anyone who's in the design space. It's now 5 organizations for $99 a month, and there's actually a free full access trial for $10 for the first month. So you can try NOAN, get access to everything. And yeah, Christy's dropped a link in there. Just use that link. And that pricing is for us. We want you to be able to build your business on there, build your clients on there, and just make your life as easy as possible without having to context switch, because we know what that feeling is like. So I want to give you an example here of something we've built out in client mode. And I've added what would essentially be a client to a design business. And this is called TC Company. We'll come back to that in a second. And one of the things we're really excited about is our white label client mode functionality. So I'll explain a bit more about how client mode works. So let's say this is a new client that we've brought on as a designer. And I previously to founding NOAN ran a consulting division of an agency for the best part of a decade. And one of the most frustrating things, or hardest things when you're working with clients, as you guys will know, is onboarding any client. You've got to learn a lot about their business. You've then got to understand it. You've then got to put it into action. Well, we're trying to make that as simple and as easy as possible. And so if you drop into client mode in this environment, I'll just refresh. Oh, there we go. I think my connection might have dropped out. Hang on one second. Oh, that might be my internet. Hang on. I don't know. Have you still got me, Christy? I think my internet might have gone. I'm just going to drop off the sharing if you want to jump back on and we can talk through that quickly. Talk through what we've released while I try and get that back up again.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I think we talked about on the previous call were those challenges about trying to get information from your client. And one of the things that you've done with client mode is being able to specifically grant clients access to the areas that you need them to fill out so that you can do your job.
That's right. That's exactly what we're doing. I think we've just actually deployed white label functionality behind the scenes, which I think has caused a minor issue. So I'm just going to ping the team, because just for everybody else, this is a sneak peek. We're releasing this tomorrow, so there's probably the odd bug. And one thing we're doing is releasing white label functionality. The team is working on that right now. Probably should have put a code freeze on before doing this, but you live and learn. Yeah, and I think, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it easy for you to onboard clients. So what we want you to do is be able to share a link directly with them. And when a client drops in, they go into an environment where they actually step through step by step an easy form. And I think this is one thing that I want to show people is that we heard a lot last time about how we wanted to make the client onboarding experience really, really easy to do. And as a result, we took some of that feedback, we built it into design, and we wanted to make it simple so that they step through almost like a new experience that felt more like Typeform, which they could step through. So I'm gonna have to set this up again. So I'm going to go quickly and set up a new organization. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, of course. So one of the things that we were talking about too, that I know you're going to touch on later, is the tasks area, which I think is going to be super useful as well. And being able to give the client specific tasks to do.
Yeah, tasks is a big one for us. And actually, while we're just looking at this, one thing I want to show from a task perspective, and I'll jump back into the back into build mode, here we go, back into our farm, is you'll see here there are some tasks down this left-hand side. So one of the things we've added is task widget, and these are quite detailed. And what we've got coming in the next few weeks, which anybody who joins, so like Wayne, we're going to give early access to, is what we're calling Workspace. Now, Workspace is an environment where you can go deep with any piece of work that you're doing. So let's say you get a client brief, you want to be able to go deep with that brief and work with AI. What we're doing with Workspace is we're enabling you to open up a wide view with an AI, chat with an AI, and then in that environment, you can add files. So within this farm, for example, we've got here grants that they might want to work on, added knowledge, like this has got a tracked PDF that's added, that's available to them. And then when you're working with the AI, you can actually ask it to set tasks. You'll see here it's closing the first task with a grant task, and it's actually closed that task. And in this environment, they can actually upload, and it will automatically set those tasks and then close them when you need. And so that's coming in the next few weeks, which was something, again, we heard from a lot of people, is they wanted an environment where they could actually work on those tasks directly with an AI and go deeper into that environment. Oh, so Christy, yeah, that's one of the things that's coming. We're just we're just quickly sorting out the back end change. We shouldn't have done the full
all good.
It's coming tomorrow, but
no,
yeah,
I love that all these things are just rolling out like right now as we're talking.
They are, yeah. We literally just added the white label logo functionality about half an hour ago, which was a lesson because we probably should have tested it while we're doing it. But I think that just shows people, like, for us, this is really about trying to build and add the functionality for anybody who joins. If there's features that they're looking for, we can add them, upload them, etc., and do them quickly. And that for us is kind of vital.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the most fun things about being on board, being a customer of NOAN from the beginning, is that you're going to get a say in how that tool works, because you guys right now are just every day working on making it better for your users. And especially, you're coming to this group of web designers who have very specific asks. And we saw that in December, and you've made most of those reality today.
Yeah, let's show you one now. I think we're back up now. So
Great.
I just need to work out. I want to share a different window. Hang on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
I've got two views up here. I've got the client mode view, and I've got the actual view for the. I'm not used to this platform, so I've got the client mode view.
Yeah, you and me both. This is my second StreamYard, so.
give me 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm going to just work out how to present in a different window. I've got two different views. Hang on. Here we go. Right.
Yeah, so while Neil is getting that pulled up, if you want to go ahead and try out NOAN, as he mentioned, it's $10 for your first month, and you get full access to everything. And these new features are rolling out tomorrow, so you get to play around with those.
Yeah, so here we are. We're back. Client mode for us, we're trying to make it as easy as possible to work with clients. What client mode is we're enabling you to build a white label dashboard for your clients, to onboard them, to enable them to create content if it fits your model, or for you to create content, and then even to give them an assistant in their pocket whenever they need. So let me talk to you a bit about how it works. Here we have client mode. You can set a client. So this is the client here we've added. They'll get an email. It'll get them to log in. I'll show you what their view looks like in a second. You can select your primary colors, your accent color via hex code. Those will be represented in that dashboard. And then you can add your logo, which was the one bit of functionality that we were just uploading, which caused a little bit of an issue. So we'll tweak that by tomorrow. But we wanted to get this out and show you guys, because a lot of the feedback that came from you has gone into this. And then you can select client onboarding. And then what happens here is you jump into the smart blocks. And because NOAN is block-based, you can select the permissions that you want a client to see the blocks of. So a good example here is we've chosen company name, business sector, product types. These are all the key things we might need. If there's other things we want, so we could add product list, we'll add that, and then we'll hit save. Now, what's going to happen if I switch to a different window, which I just need to work out how to do on here. How do I see that. I'm not sure how to do that. Let me just work out.
I'm not sure either, Neil. Sorry.
Sorry, it's all right. Screen sharing is just giving me this window, which is a bit of an issue. I might just join. I don't know if I have to join via the other one.
If you hit present at the bottom, is it only allowing you to do one screen?
Yeah, it's only allowing me to do this screen, which I'm just trying to work out. Apologies for this.
Gotcha.
Let me just see if, here we go. There we go. Got it.
Perfect.
There we go. So this is what the client will see. And number one, you'll see this is white labeled with the logo for this, this designer. And then the client will drop in and it will have their details. Now I added a new block, so I'm just going to refresh it. And it should say that they need to complete their onboarding process. So when they jump in here, this is the experience that the client is going to drop into. So they're going to go in through, and I'm going to go back to the start. All of those blocks that they selected, they come across like a form. So you'll see them here. They just have to step through these, fill out the information. They can come back at any time. But once they're done and they're completed, we'll add a little bit on the back. This is a lighting designer, so we'll just say modern lights, and that can be the product list for now. And then they'll finish. That's completed. And then on our side, all of those blocks, as soon as they add a new block, they will all be loaded in that environment. So now I'm going to do a bit of a dance and jump back to show the other side.
Sorry, Neil.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fun. It's quite an interesting one to present because you're presenting two sides of the coin. But we're back now in the designer side, and we're going to jump back down into client mode. So they've completed the client onboarding. And what you'll see here, I'm just going to refresh, hang on. What you'll see here when we come back to the build mode is all of those blocks are now complete. So the company name is in there, everything's complete. So for us, if we want to start making content for this client, we can jump straight in and we can start making content immediately. Let's say we want to actually ask the assistant, for example, what web pages should we need to build for this client based on their business and their products. The assistant will immediately give us that advice and guidance, and we'll actually be able to start developing there. So the assistant now knows everything about this company because they filled out and completed that onboarding form. So we're really trying to streamline the process from going from getting a client on board to be able to create content, to be able to start thinking about how you design and build out. But what's also cool is if I jump down here now into client mode again, you've got some other options. And this depends on your model and what you want to do. But we know different people have got different models for support, for content creation. Now, let's say, for example, you want to set these clients some tasks. You can actually set that tasks widget, and they're going to see that straight away. So if you need them to create homepage copy, about page copy, you can set that task up. What you can also do is give them access to create mode, so they can start creating straight away. And remember, this is under your brand and white label on your side. So they're in there and they're able to create that about page copy really quickly. And we'll show you what that view looks like for them in a second. But then you can also give them access to that dashboard assistant. So I think one of the things I've found talking to a lot of users and a lot of designers is, we've heard people say, I'm not IT support for my customers, but they're asking me how to connect their Calendly to their Google. In that environment, you've got an assistant now that they can talk to straight away. And also, the more knowledge you build out about their brand behind the scenes, if you're working on a bit of strategy for them, a bit of brand, all of that, all of a sudden that's available to that assistant as soon as you've added it. So I'll switch back now that we've turned those on. You can also turn the dashboard news widget on if you want to deliver that for your clients. And we can see what that looks like for the client environment. So I'm just going to refresh on the client side. And you'll see now that those tasks, about page copies, popped up. You can see that I've set that on that side. Create mode is now available to them, so they can jump in and start creating. And one of the things we've heard from a lot of designers is like the content creation for their clients is hard work. It's hard graft. I mean, you can speak to that more than I can, but I've heard a lot about getting somebody to create their content is difficult. Immediately they can get in and start creating copy in this environment. based on all of that business knowledge that they've uploaded. And if you've added more and started to do strategy for them, that's just going to get better and better. You can see anything they create, and they can see anything you create if you want them to. So if you want to create an article for them or a homepage copy with AI and send them the link, it will pop up below in recent creations. So it'll be down here. You can see here I've crafted an about page copy for this brand already. And then they've also got full access to the assistant in this environment. And here's where, if they've got support questions, this assistant knows, most people have probably played with AI. It knows everything about pretty much everything that's out there that it's trained on. So it's going to, if you want to ask it how to connect Calendly to Google, it's going to give you really good guidance in that environment. But it also is there as a support for your clients. And when we bring Workspace in and we start adding knowledge, if you've got guidelines, if you've got things you want them to know, this assistant will also know that. And it'll be available for them to talk straight to. So this is how we're bringing client mode and the main known together for you, so that you can add clients. If you want to package client mode, white label it, add it on as a benefit to your customer base so that they can start creating content in this environment and charge them for that experience, then we've set it up to do that. If you just want to use client mode to streamline your onboarding, then you can do that too. It's set up to be as flexible depending on your model, because one of the things we've learned is lots of different designers have got different models. Some people want to own content creation in-house and grow their revenue that way. Others are more focused on the design part and really just want to enable clients to create it more quickly. Well, this will enable them to do that with create mode. So we've done this in a way that's as flexible as possible to enable you to choose and select the model you want. And soon, in the next couple of days, there's going to be a widget in here where you can set your meeting link and your Google Drive link. So that'll always be there. They can go straight to that. And then you'll also be able to add it to your subdomain. So it'll be under your domain and white labeled with your logo, and everything looks like it's under your brand, basically.
Neil, what you said just a moment ago really sparked a thought for me. So reselling client mode essentially as a service to your clients and customers, are there any limitations there? Anything that they would not be able to do?
The only limitation in that environment is that you would probably want to add, if they're adding knowledge, so if they're changing in that environment and it's a business where they're constantly adding new products, new features, then in that environment, you're going to need to add those blocks for them so they can go in and tweak them. But reselling client mode like this is the way we're seeing it, the people we're talking to, is for businesses where they've got a relatively set product. They're not releasing things constantly, therefore nothing's really changing, but they need to create the blogs, they need to create the emails, create the CRM, all of that in a client mode environment, they can do. And then they can come to you if that's the relationship you have, and you can make some changes for them. We do have a reseller program where if you want to just fully hand off known to the client, you can do that, and you'll actually get paid monthly based on that referral fee from a subscription. But that means they've got full access to all of build mode, all of ideas, everything else. But for a lot of the people we've spoken to in this world, it's really relevant for client mode for people who are not making massive changes to their business. They've got a set business, they've got set products. And yes, you can you take amends? Like, I'm missing that question actually. Whether you can change things and tweak things on your side, is that the?
So yeah, so markup is a tool that a lot of web designers use. So essentially what you're doing is you're showing the website to the client, but they get an overlay where they get to write things on it and like, no, move this here. I want to change this word. Can you, center the logo? So they're essentially editing and they're requesting changes. So I think that's the question Lee has.
Yeah. So Lee, get in touch. That sounds like a new feature for me for the next webinar. I think there's probably ways for us to do that. We've got a lot of integrations coming. One of the things I should add is we've built an integration layer as well over the last couple of weeks. So create mode is on the verge of being deployed to CRMs, to websites. And that, so like Google Doc comments, We're adding comment capabilities. You would be able to add your Google Drive link, and then you could have that as your core. But that functionality is coming. And if there's suggestions you have, Wayne, on things you're looking for, then just reach out, because a few weeks have gone by and we've really focused on trying to build these features for the community, and that's what we want to keep doing, because I think for us, we've been there. We felt the pain of managing client relationships at various levels, and we want to just streamline that as much as possible and help everybody kind of grow their businesses.
I have a really specific question about the website content. So when the assistant generates that first pass of the about page for the client, is the client able to go in and then edit directly within NOAN?
That's a great question. Yeah, I've got to remember which window I'm in now. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, that's a great question. So in this environment with Create Mode, we're really focused on two things as a company. We're focused on, one, taking AI and putting it in the hands of people who, when given it, they've got superpowers, which is individuals who are overwhelmed, small business owners, designers, consultants. The second thing we're really focused on is human in the loop. And in this environment, when you create, we've built in full edit capability. So you can jump in and edit, you can make changes, you can tweak, you can save. And like I said, soon you'll be able to deploy this wherever you need it to go. And then also you can use the assistant to actually edit, and that will actually edit the content for you in this environment as well, because it knows what it's just created. So you've got an assistant there to do editing, because a lot of people aren't. I was a journalist for many years of my career. A lot of people aren't editors. And you can use the assistant to actually edit as well if you want. You can be very specific, change this paragraph, change the language to better reflect one of our audience segments. It will do that for you. So it's really set up for you to have full control in this environment, and you can generate with multiple different models, and we're going to add more. But yeah, you've got full control. And that human in the loop part for us, if anyone's a creative or and anyone who owns a business has got a real strong probably perspective on what they're building. And I think it's really important for us that we give people the powers to do that. So that's why we're kind of building NOAN as we are.
Yeah, I love that human in the loop. I think that's so important. I think we see a lot of AI tools that don't really encourage that. And so one of the things I like about NOAN is that you're really encouraging that human aspect as part of this. It's not just like, here's what you get. It's like, here's the first pass.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And, it might get you 99% of the way there. And sometimes it does. That farm email would be pretty much 100%, and you can go. And the more content you get in there, I mean, this is a good example, this fake brand I've created here, but I put one-line descriptions in. The more detail you've got, the better the output is going to get, because it's referencing your business knowledge. So if you're working with a client, encouraging them to go a bit deeper is going to really pay off in the long run. But the way NOAN works is it breaks it up into those blocks. So it always understands what it's creating, and they're connected behind the scenes. And yeah, to your point, like, I think human in the loop and giving humans control. And that's one of the things we're trying to do with Workspace. One of the things we're trying to do with Client Mode is to enable those things.
I think for me, one of the things that I'm most excited about with NOAN is I've tried to kind of piecemeal this stuff in ChatGPT or in Claude. So I create a project, I'm uploading all this knowledge, and then I'm getting maybe 10% done of the things I want to get done. And then it's like, oh, sorry, you're out of room in this project. You're going to have to start all over. And so with NOAN, you have that project for everything. And you're not running out of room. You have the knowledge there to use for all of these different tasks.
That's exactly right. And adding a new client is like a couple of clicks. It's very straightforward. I'll just jump back into the other version and show it, because when you join, you've got access immediately to 5 organizations. And you can add a new one at any time, and you can jump in, and you'll see here now that the logo functionality, you can add your logo, and then you can add your new organization here, and that will just add a new one. You've got 5 as part of a base level subscription. What that means is, like, I mean, you'll know this, but often you're working on 2-3 clients at once, and you're context switching. I did that for years. You're walking into one meeting about one client, one meeting and another. We're trying to make it as easy as possible to just jump in and context switch straight away to a different business, in a matter of seconds. And that's, for me, is a huge lift that was, something I could have really done with when I was working with clients all of the time. So we're trying to make that as easy as possible. The other thing I wanted to show actually is, so right now I'm in a brand called Clean Slate Design. So this is a website designer that I've got in here. It's just an example. But I wanted to jump into build mode and show a couple of things around how the stacks are structured, because if you're working with clients, one thing you're going to do a lot is SOWs, proposals. What we've done is we've built out a couple of stacks that we've used. So there's an agency stack where you can add things like your case studies, for example. So if you have case studies that you want to be referenced in content that you're creating, in emails you're creating, in SOWs, add your case studies in there, and then you'll get them referenced. And then separately, creating SOW. So if you have an example SOW, you can drop that in. And then what you can then do is go across into create mode and create any SOW for a particular client. So I'm working with this client, I want to create an SOW for it, and then it will create that straight away. And it's going to be based on your template. And once we release Workspace, you'll just be able to drag, for example, a PDF from a client, which might be a brief, drop that in, turn this into an SOW, send it back. That's the way that we're trying to help automate that. We also have another stack that I think is down here, which I added with another designer, which we're fleshing out, which is a design stack. So here you can add the knowledge about how you think about designing, your capabilities, your process, your proposal structure. Once you've added those, again, you can leverage create mode, or you can leverage the assistance, and it knows and understands all of that. And that enables you to do those things like SOWs or proposal structures like really, really easily and simply.
I love that. So this has been, you guys have done so much since December. It's, yeah, you must not have had a break at all.
No, I mean, look, for us, I think we use I think this is one thing just to mention to people who maybe weren't at the first webinar, but also just we use our own product to build our own company. And so we build features for us and then we ship them to other people. And, the workspace that I briefly showed is a good example. That's in beta right now while we're testing it. We built that for us because we need it, and then we're going to ship it to everybody else. So, we build fast as we can, and we're constantly iterating. So the more feedback we get, if you come on board, NOAN, you're kind of joining a bit of a community, and you can join us and give us features, which Tomic, that's a great one. I'll add that in the queue. So it was just saying, if you could, are we able to add photos to each question similar to Typeform? I will get that in the queue. I think it's
Tomic.
Useful. There you go.
Yeah, Tomic has been at a couple of the Circle Days in New York, so it's really cool to see you here. I think that's a great question. Yeah, photos to each question in the logo.
It'd be great to know the use case a bit more as well. So get in touch, Tomic, and we can jump on a call and talk through like any features like that you want, and we can line them up. And if they ship, like I said, if they work for others, which I'm sure they will, then we're happy to get them in the queue and get them prioritized.
Great. Any other questions for Neil about NOAN in general, or for designers, client mode? If you have any, drop them in the chat. My question is, when is the assistant going to be able to create website wireframes for us?
I certainly don't think it's going to be long. I wasn't surfing as much as I wanted to last year. For anybody who's not, I live in a world-class surf zone. I work with a world-class surf coach remotely, and I've got 2 kids and I run a startup, so I don't surf as much as I should. And so I ended up building, I'm the kind of nerd who needs to like write down when he surfs to get himself motivated. And I ended up building myself an app in 20 hours. And then I've shipped it, and I've got loads of my friends are now using it. And I'm kind of like, oh God, I've got to do something with this. I don't think it'll be long, to be honest. I mean, Anthropic's got a lot of capabilities in that space. And, we're building on multiple. I think one thing I would touch on is the way we're building NOAN is a lot of these models have got different capabilities. So, tooling is a good example, the ability to create tasks. Different models can do different things. The way we built the product is really the focus is on your business knowledge, and then how do we use the right model for the right use case, which is why we see it as an infrastructure. opportunity for us to select the right ones for you, depending on what you want to do. When that comes along, it's definitely something that we will integrate into the product and experience, because, you know, if you could spin up something quickly and easily, but they onboard, you can spin up something quickly and easily on the look and feel, that would be a huge opportunity. And we are rolling out soon, you know, a lot of functionality to enable you to deploy to websites and others. Unfortunately, you know, Squarespace doesn't, you can't write on Squarespace yet. Webflow we can, so that'll be the first place we end up deploying it to, is Webflow, but they'll be doing. And yes, there'll be videos. There's a great question, Wayne, there's a learn section on each page. I should also show in build mode itself, one of the things that let me just skip through to brand. Actually, one of the things that we don't talk about much anymore, but I think is useful, particularly if you're, say, for example, a web designer who doesn't have a brand background. I was at Circle Day in New York. I thought it was really good that people were doing talks around brand strategy, etc. I came from a big agency where brand strategy was core to what we do. Not everyone has that knowledge. So what we've built in these blocks is you've actually got examples in this environment of what these things are. So learning and building in the same environment, and then case studies of world-class companies and what they do is available for you at your fingertips. So if you're not sure about brand positioning, if you've all of a sudden found yourself doing it, not only can you build one very quickly, but also you've got the ability to kind of learn. And then for the clients themselves, we have learn videos will be in there on like how client mode works. The one thing we'll have is just, they'll probably be a bit simpler so that they're not our brand, but they're just a quick walkthrough with a voiceover that you can share. But yeah, all of this is within the product. We might actually, if it's useful for your clients, we might make these learn guides and things available for you to share directly via client mode. Just let us know, because, you know, my wife is a teacher and I taught at university as well. And one of the things I'm really excited about is in this environment, you can build and learn at the same time, which is typically not how you did things. You'd have to go learn and you'd look up on YouTube and watch videos, or you'd read, and then you'd go back and try and work out how to do an audience segmentation. Well, right now we've built it so that you can just generate that audience segmentation and learn about it in the same environment, which is a small part of the product. But I think for many people who don't have the skill set or who've come into Squarespace website design, because this is actually, I became a Circle member because I made a website and then someone asked me to make another website, and then I ended up making 5 for people. I can see the natural pathway. You may not have like brand strategy background or knowledge, and you might not have membership and subscription strategy knowledge, but you find yourself doing those things all the time. You've got those available to you in these blocks, so that you can just read up and learn from world-class companies in that environment.
That's really cool. Build and learn, same time.
Yeah, it's great. It's never happened before. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's like, exciting things about AI is you'd have to go spend hours. And when we first launched NOAN, we spoke to a lot of small business owners, people who would be clients of designers, and, you know, they waste hours trying, because people who are focused on their business, they're trying to learn every aspect to build it. Right. And they waste hours trying to work out what these things are. And they know them inherently, but they don't know what a brand positioning is, or what a value proposition is, or how to write copy. But we're trying to make that as simple and as easy as possible.
I think that, yeah, that's a really good point. Like, you kind of implicitly know something, but you can't articulate it to a client. Yeah. And so this makes that part a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any questions for Neil before we say goodbye today? This has been so incredibly helpful, Neil. I love seeing just how much NOAN has changed just in the last, month, 6 weeks. Yeah. And how it makes me really happy how well you listened to the designers that were on that call in December, and how much you've really paid attention to what people are asking for and made it happen. Because I think with a lot of startups, it's like, look, we've made this thing and then you're done. And I see NOAN is continuing to evolve and continuing to improve, especially for designers.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. I really appreciate that. And it you know, so for people who weren't on the first webinar, the Typeform concept for the onboarding came from people in the comments, because they said, look, actually, can we simplify this as much as possible? And we actually had a version of client mode that was available, but it was almost too complex. You got dropped into full NOAN experience. And so that was why we went away and built that. And so, yeah, if you join NOAN, we're on all the time. You can give us feedback. If there's features you're looking for, let us know. And like I said, if they work for other people, we're happy to get them in the queue. And also, client mode goes live tomorrow. So obviously there was we're still deploying a couple of the key features, but client mode goes live tomorrow. It will keep evolving over the next couple of weeks. So get in, and if there's things you want that are going to make your life easier, that you've thought for a while, like, oh God, I wish that was in one place. I wish I could make it easier for my clients, or I wish I could make it easier to create content for my clients. Get in touch, reach out, sign up, and then just tell us what you're looking for, and we can talk about the features.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Neil.
No worries. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks a lot for the comments as well.
Thank you.